Hey there, Detroit Prep artists. It's Miss Jillian here. I'm here today to show you first how to trace, then erase, and then how to color with high quality. So the first thing that we're going to do, you can see I have a basic landscape right here. I have my horizon line right here. I have a tree, I have some bushes, and I have a road right here and the sun. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my permanent black marker. If you don't have permanent black marker, a washable marker works just fine as long as you're not using paint. If you are using paint, you're going to want to use black marker. You could also, this same technique works with regular marker, colored pencil, crayon, whatever you're tracing with. So we're just going to start off carefully tracing as close as we can by drawing right on top of the line that we've already drawn. So I'm taking my time, I'm moving carefully. I'm going to move my paper around as I move my hand. That way I can get all the angles. And I'm going to just really carefully trace over my pencil lines as best as I can. I'm not necessarily going in order, just going with whatever is easiest to reach with my hand while my paper is turned this direction. And as you can see, I'm kind of going over my line a little bit and then coloring those white spaces in. The reason I'm doing that is I want to make this line a little bit thicker to make it really, really bold, and also I had some overhanging lines from right here that I wanted to cover up, and that's a great way to cover those lines up. I'm going to finish the other side of my road right here. And this would be good for any project that we do to make your lines bold. Now you can see that I went out of my pencil line a little bit and I have a little bit of a bump in my line. So I'm going to come back up here to before I went off of my line, and I'm going to trace over the part of the line I missed. And now you can see I have a little bit of a space in between, so I'm going to come out and also have that bump right there. So I'm going to come back up here again, add another little bit of a line coming off to the other side like this. Trace right here, and then I can color the space in with my Sharpie, and it will cover up all those imperfections. And this line might be a little bit bigger, so I might have to kind of make this line a little bit thicker up here just so that it looks more gradual and it doesn't look abrupt, like from a really narrow line to a really wide line. So I want it to be a more gradual transition there. Okay, do the same thing right here. All right, now I'm going to go and do this way. Because I'm right-handed, it kind of works a little bit. It works easier for me with my hand to move from left to right as I'm tracing. If you are left-handed, it will probably be easier to move from right to left. So make sure that you orient your paper in whichever direction you need to make sure it's easier for you to trace with high quality. Make sure you're taking your time. Have some bumps right there. Just really, so I want these to be more pointed. Let it go. Perfect. Just really slowly and taking my time, making sure I'm getting all of my pencil lines. Moving my paper as I go. I make mistakes making that line a little bit wider to kind of cover it up, because again, you can't erase with marker, so you have to fix it as best you can. I'm just going to keep going until all of my pencil lines are covered. So that means any place that I have drawn something, I'm going to trace it with my Sharpie, with my marker, or whatever thing I'm using to trace with. So maybe it's crayon, maybe it's colored pencil, if an area is really small and it's too difficult for me to reach that area with my Sharpie. I'm using the point of my Sharpie, but it's starting to get a little dull, so some of those smaller areas are maybe a little trickier. And I'm gonna keep going. And even when you are tracing as best you can and really taking your time, sometimes you can still see a little bit of a pencil line even after you've traced. So what I like to say is trace, then erase. So no matter what, we're still gonna go over all of this with an eraser just to make sure that all of our pencil line is no longer visible. So this is for after you've gotten all your lines exactly where you want them to be. You can see right here, I made a mistake with my line. I just left it there because I knew I was gonna erase after I traced. So I fixed the line, and then I traced the line that I wanted to stay in my picture because I know that I'm gonna be erasing this one. There you go. And then I just have my sun. And even then, see, I liked this shape a little bit more, so now I can erase that line right there. Making sure all of this is traced really well. Right. So that looks like I have everything traced pretty well. There are a couple of areas that I might want to touch up. What I'm going to do now is find my eraser, which I don't see one of my big pink erasers right nearby, which is a little frustrating. So you can hear me clanking stuff in the background trying to find it. All right, well, if you don't have a big, oh, it's right next to me. Silly Miss Jillian. All right, so now I'm just gonna hold my paper down really, really well with my hand. That way it doesn't go anywhere. So see how nice and wide I have my hands down? I'm really holding it in place, and I'm making sure that I am moving my hand with my eraser slowly, moving my bracing hand as I go. And I'm going to turn this to get this angle too. So if I move too quickly, what's going to happen is my page is going to like crumple up because I'm pressing so hard with my eraser. So just do a little bit of the erasing at a time. Don't try to do it all at once. Especially as you get closer to the edge of the page, you really want to make sure that you have the corners held down, because those are the ones that like to get picked up as you're erasing. So let's take a close look and see if there's any other spot I could do some more erasing. Maybe this line right here could use a little more erasing. All right. Awesome, so that is how you do a really great job of tracing and then erasing. I'll talk to you guys next time when we talk about adding color with high quality.